I dressed for the occasion today. I gotta brush my hair. This is my winter bow tie. In my old life, I used to wear these all the time to AA meetings and concerts, and I felt fancy. I put it on this morning and I tried to tie it from memory and I couldn't do it. And I had to go look in the mirror. And then I was reminded that our brains are muscles, and that's why I'm constantly trying to learn things, because the more I try and learn things, the more active my brain stays engaged with my reality. And I have a hard time engaging with reality, so to speak, as it is, because of my birth chart. I'm extra woo woo. Mom's still sleeping. I made some notes about some things to talk about, because this Gemini full moon's got me all trying to just do everyday tasks is extra fun. But there's so many people waking up, it seems like they're starting to hear what I say, because we are becoming in alignment frequentially. All that means to see, people are like, they speak in terms of frequency and then they just leave it at that. I like to elaborate here. It's like Hogwarts kindergarten over here for folks. I ain't into spells though. I'm into good recipes that make people feel good. Toxicity, that's for the rest of the world. I battle that within me so I don't have to bring it out to the world. So how are your placements doing, Gemini wise, folks? I have Saturn in the 12th house, chilling with Mars in Gemini. It gets better, because my Saturn chills at 29 degrees. So that's like supposedly the most like concentrated of the sign. I think the first part of it is. I think if you are the first, you are the most of that impression of that sign, and then it kind of dwindles out, tapers out of that sign as it heads through the deacons. And then by the time you're in the deacon, they're like 20, it's like you're this part of this sign and that part of the next sign, because they round up, right? Based on that logic. And for those that like to tell people to prove it, I'm just going to say to you, I'm gonna go ahead and offer the suggestion that anything I say that people think is silly or nonsense and they want me to prove it, you can just go out and prove it, disprove it for me, because I'm too busy proving stuff. So there's a big old glob of frequencies heading across the USA right now. I track weather. It's how I know. Oh, let me finish my last thought. So because of my Gemini placements, there has this Gemini full moon, and I'm talking Western Vedic, or Western, not Vedic. Sometimes I do talks from my Vedic chart point of view, because I'm Gemini rising in Vedic. So I think about how it packs me in Vedic and Western at the same time, and they're pretty synonymous, really. So what the fakes say, all freaking, see, that's what makes me this whole intelligent artificial is like it's like that game at telephone, only people are communicating all at the same time. It's not one at a time, and you just have all these people throwing out things like, it's the Bernstein Bears. No, it's the Bernstein Bears. No, it's Haas avocados. No, it's HAAS. No, it's HASS. These convergence, which is just broken data. It's just people at the printing plant changing the label. You know, it's both the Bernstein Bears. They just change the label on the printer, and then they distribute both versions, and then they just say, let them fight about it amongst themselves. Then they won't do anything useful. And the world is never what they. It's the world as far as shape is the way I see it. It's you put 7 people in a room, and whoever the 4 out of 3, that's the shape of the earth. It's the sum of all parts. It's whatever conscious people create it, make it to be. Doesn't matter what the shape of the planet is. It matters how people treat each other on the planet. I'm already hearing about how people are freezing on the street. They're freezing in the streets, and that should never be in America. That's why so many military members in themselves, because we see that it's a contrived reality, that it's a stage production and all. You know, it's just so a bunch of bros, a bunch of frat boys, you know, the fraternal order of butt stuff, as I call them. Fraternal FOP, fraternal order of police. Like, they don't gotta pay for their health. Like they don't get medical bills. Like, you know, it's just everything's a club. And I don't like clubs. I don't even like Disneyland. When I was a kid, it would creep me out. That freaking. I wonder how many kids go missing on that freaking frog ride. Go around the corner, somebody opens the panel. Whoop! Where's your kid go? I don't know. I'm at Disneyland, the happiest place on earth. And then they're forever traumatized, because you know 800,000 people go missing in the U.S. every year. So when they count population numbers, do they include all the ones that are missing? This year? Last year? Year before that? 20, 30, 40, 50 years prior? Do they include all those missing people numbers that aren't counted into their little election game? Does that happen? Ever since I was a little kid, I watched TV as my escape. And then I imagined the world like it was on TV. And then I grew up and tried to make my life like it was on TV. And I found out that's not the real world. But then I joined the military and I found out that's not the real world either. And I worked in hospitals, and I was like, it's a system is only as good as the person that created the system, the heart space in which. And if people are about money, 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 that's all earthly shit. And we're part earth. We're mostly spiritual beings, because we're only on this earth for a part time. But our spirits and our souls will travel through the ethers for all time. Past, present, and future, all at the same time. And if you meditate, if you got practices and disciplines, you can tap into the no place space where all the data and information held. And I look at the sun, like whenever we get sun blasts, big old CMEs, that's a storyline, right? Because where is the light going to? It's going out. If it's not hitting Earth, then it's not going to hit the Earth planets, right? But if it goes out, hit Jupiter, that activates that within people. And then people tune into storylines based on their feelings and perceptions. And then we're creating reality based on that. And I'm here to tell people that civilizations stall because creativity does. Because people get stuck in other people's loops. Like, we go to wars because dudes that are in their 50s, 60s, 70s hung out with their freaking dads and watched the Rockford Files. And they got this impression of what a man does. which is a wrong impression. And then they watch movies like I watch, because Mom watched them, that made you proud of America. Like, I haven't even watched these as an adult. It'd probably really bother me. Like the Green Beret and Bridge Over River Kwai, and I'll let her know she's still sleeping. You know, all these movies that make it cool. And then they have people like Bob Hope. I wonder how many people are buried in shallow graves because somebody went against what Bob Hope said. Like, what? You don't think what? You know, because they're all machismos. They're all, don't you know who I am? And if you notice, famous people, like, they don't age gracefully because they don't live gracefully. Like, they get all because they want, because they don't recognize that they're powerless, and they try to control everything, including the procedures on their faces. It's so warped. So I made some notes. Population numbers are lies. I'm gonna start thinking that fakes. I'm gonna talk about that too. Um, Population numbers are lies. You can't count people you don't see. Like I was talking about earlier, 800,000 people go missing in the United States every year. Snuff films, elite, hunting parties, white vans in the night, ice cream trucks. Okay? So come up with your own conclusions. And then they allocate themselves funds because they say that there's this many people. I one time, years ago, I did it 7 years ago when I first started doing these YouTube talks. I went through like Wikipedia and just did this in California because that's the state I was born in. And I've been all over California, and I've seen all the places where people aren't. Right? Places people are mostly in city, and then you have people that and then you have the outsiders. You have the insiders and the outsiders, the go-alongs and the not, and the we're good with all that. The earthlings and the outer beings. And so the way I look at it is, the song makes me my train of thought derail every single time. And I went it through, and I said, okay, I looked up every single county in California, and there was like 70 something counties, right? And if you look at the county of the map, right, and then you look at the number of the people within each county, I had a few hours to kill. And then you add up the people in the county, and then you don't get the total number of what they say is the total population of California. And because data is as easy to manipulate as the people that put data out because they're doing their job for a paycheck, you will never know the true number. It doesn't matter. What matters is your proximity. What you are doing with your being in the area in which you in. And then they get people all stoked, like stoking a fire. They get people worked up. And every day I'm like, breathe through it. You know, it's a show. Breathe through it. But it still invokes a stimulation in me because that's what I get whenever I see bullshit. I get a little boop, little stimulation, right? Boop. Oh, bullshit, 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 bullshit. And then people get so much bullshit, then ultimately they just fuck it. I might as well be shitty too. And then they join the shit parade. And I just stay out of it more. Sit back. I rise higher, look from a bird's eye view, and where you can count that there's not as many people on this whole planet as they say there is. There isn't. It's all about allocating funds. I was thinking this morning, I was like, okay, let's tap into the world where there's 1 million people in Idaho. There's 1 million people in New Hampshire. There's 1 million people in California. On average, in every state, there's 1 million people. Because every time I go there, I've been to California, I ain't never felt like I was surrounded by 38 million people in California. At any time. Even when I was in LA in freaking traffic. Because I just drove through Stockton and there ain't shit. I just drove through Modesto. I just drove through all these towns. There ain't shit there. There ain't millions of, but they allocate themselves. Does this tracking? Like, when people start seeing this reality, I'm going to start thinking that there's hope for a reality where they're not going to believe that America needs to go over and defend freedom and democracy in the desert where people don't have clean water and shit. We're just taking shit that doesn't belong to us. We're the bully. We're the asshole. And now it's coming back around. America's turned into the third world country because we created third world countries. We created problems. So now America's gonna get problems because that is how good old direction works. You don't treat people good. It's called Godsmack. There's a song about it. Godsmack. I used to get smacked upside the head when I was a kid too. You get smacked upside the head. Oh, that's not how it is. Let me take on somebody else's reality. Oh, somebody told me to stop my voice. Stop spreading this, please. You gonna control me and how I need to be? See, powerless people do that. I don't care what people say. I do care. If they're like vulgar and like do stupid shit. Like, I don't know. There's all kind. I guess I do. Anyway, let's go back to population numbers. And I lived in California, and I went to New York City. And I looked up how many people they said live there. And then everywhere I went, I'm like, does this all add up to the numbers? No, it doesn't. They lie about population. And then everybody is so easily just goes along with it, 8 million people on the planet. Where? I went to Crete when we bombed Iraq. No place I ever went, there's never 7-8 billion people. And who counts them all? And how do they plus or minus for all the people that die every day? And how do they count for all those missing people? They don't know when they die, so when do they get flip over to the population of the planet no longer? You see what I mean? And a lot of people are talking about data warehouses because of the fake brains in the world. AI is a lazy man's tool as far as I'm concerned. It's for people that can't draw art. It's for people that can't project their brain into tangibilities. They gotta turn it over to a false entity that can. So, okay, whatever. See how that works out. I grew up watching Terminator, and then I ended up a real-life Sarah Connor, so to speak. So, yeah. I always thought, and then if you watch movie shows like Northern Exposure, that was on in 92. They talk about in there's only 4 billion people on the planet. So how is it between 30 years we got that many people when people stop having kids and all these people going missing and they're not getting married and the show ain't working anymore? See, we create our reality by what we tune into frequently. And if people are in tune within themselves, things are going to even out on the outside. If people can... But see, I'm surrounded by people that are just crazy. Like, they hurt so bad inside that they escalate like that, and they got guns, they're taking people out in cars. Like the youth, I blame video games, really. I blame video games like Grand Theft Auto. The percentage of young men, probably women too, but it's not as prominent as men, that are going out and actively looking for people to end because they do it on a video game. And it's that escalating behavior. It's when people, thanks, when people hate or like are void of spirit, they will connect to things externally that stimulate them. And oftentimes people are stimulated, they're turned on by violence. And that is why we go to war, because men stop feeling like men. And then they come back here because the show's over and they don't got the boom diddy booms to blow up. They gotta wait till 4th of July. So what do? They take that and then they buy their ATVs and look at all the freaking and car clubs and all these things, because people have the zoomies. They feel all this inside, and they project that out externally instead of every now and again using that. Why don't people gather sometimes, not all the time, go out and have your fun, but think about, we could be building houses in a day. If they put all those people with that manpower, we could be building houses in days. I know, this kid, when he started out, hard ass worker, he's a young buck, you know. I was in the military, I was a younger buck too, but he was still, but he's little Pisces, you know, the little Pisces guys, little provers, little, you know. I remember when he started out, because he dated a friend of mine. They ended up getting married, having 2 beautiful boys and stuff, and life goes on. Anyway, when he started out with his truck and a trailer, and then he was like putting in Anderson windows. And the last time I looked homie up, he has built that, his vision, into a business in Omaha. What's it called? I wonder if I would ever talk to him of, oh, I got ideas. I just got an idea. I can't say it out loud. Anyway, here. Let's see. He started this business because he didn't even have a business. He was just like installing windows at first. And then I moved away. You know, people go off and do their life. La Vista Days Parade 2025, thanks to the Dunright family and TNT Ford. And then he's got a fleet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,